ready, and racing.
Welcome to the Dogcast for Greyhound Racing SA. Visit grsa.com.au.
Yes, welcome to the Dogcast, brought to you by Greyhound Racing SA. I'm your host, Tim Edwards, back on the Dogcast with Greyhound Racing SA's racing manager, Shaun Mathieson. How are you, Shaun?
Good, thanks, Tim. Yeah, great to have you back on the show again for this edition of the Dogcast, and plenty of feature races coming. We've got a couple of big ones coming up this week in South Australia, so really looking forward to the show. Yeah,
it's going to be a big show. As per normal, we got the features being the Bayroad Queen Stayers Cup at Angle Park on Thursday night. That's for the best stayers in the state. We also have a big night at Gawler next Sunday night. It's the Gawler Produce Final. So all of our young dogs on display there. We had the semi-finals there on Sunday night. So that final will be this week. We're going to take a look back at the Shane McQueen final, which happened in the last couple of weeks since we've been on air. And our interview this week is going to be with Robert Barclay. We haven't had Rob on before, and he's got My Mum's Value in the Sunday night feature. That's all coming up on this week's edition of the Dogcast.
The Week in Review.
As per normal, the Week in Review is brought to us by Fresh Pet Food Co. They're proud suppliers of fresh pet food for our GAP SA Greyhounds. They're right here in South Australia, and you can visit their website at freshpetfoodco.com.au. All one word. Shaun, big few weeks it's been. Before we refer back to last Thursday night first, we should touch on the Shane McQueen, which took place a few weeks ago now, and Victor Grosso was able to win that feature race, defeating Starlight Tyson, and Spanish Miss ran third. Victor Grosso, 34.06. He's just such a professional, isn't he?
He is, very much so. I mean, from box 2, he was able to dominate the race, wasn't he? He was able to get up on speed and then race away mid-race and hang on for, well, not hang on, he won by 4 lengths, so he did it pretty easily. You're right, Tim. I mean, he's developed into pretty much a foolproof greyhound. He can win from any boxes. He does like an inside box, but he can show he can come from anywhere. The 595 feature race, it was a fitting addition. The Shane McQueen, as you mentioned, the two interstaters came second and third, Starlight Tyson, Spanish Miss. And it was nice because Tony had a good affinity with Shane when Shane was CEO of, 20 years ago. And so he spoke very well on the dice about winning the race in Shane's honour. And Victor Grosso, he goes from strength to strength. I think you'll see, I've seen him at Gawler the last couple.
Yeah, he won there on Sunday, of course.
Yeah, I think you'll see him head towards Victoria. And I think Mally Magic, who was so impressive on last night at Angle Park, I think you'll see both of them head across to Victoria for some of their feature races. So it'll be good to see them on the national stage in the coming weeks.
And the Rasmussens won the Shane McQueen last year from memory with rushes as well. That was at Murray Bridge.
It was, and that was, again, a great addition to the Shane McQueen. One of the runs of the year, really. It wasn't the run of the year, but it was one of the runs of the year, rushes. What a wonderful performance that was for Lisa, and no doubt a little bit of family rivalry there. Lisa getting it last year and Tony this year. Yeah,
they certainly dominate, don't they? Bedrock Fred was really impressive last Thursday night. We were at Angle Park and we watched him compete on the big stage at Albion Park, and he was superb, wasn't he?
He was. He won the Dashing Corsair at Group 3 level, and it's really good to be at Angle Park on a Thursday night when our interstate dogs perform so well on the national stage, and such a big roar from the locals in the venue when Bedrock Fred got up and won. I mean, he raced away mid-race as well. He won by 8 lengths. He now, so a terrific performance there by Bedrock Fred. He now heads to the 4-dog Super Stayers. I think it's 40,000 to the winner, something like that, this Thursday night. So he's been in terrific form in Queensland.
He seems to love it up in Brisbane, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, we had good success, South Australia did with Sir Truculent last year. Loves the, I'd say, sun on the back, but I don't know if there's a lot of sun there at the moment, Tim.
No, probably a bit more than what we've had here in Adelaide anyway. They seem to be getting a bit more sun than us, but they certainly do go well up there, our greyhounds. So we wish Bedrock Fred the best of luck. And, of course, last Thursday night, as you mentioned, Shaun, we were at Angle Park and we had the heats of the Bayroad Queen Stayers, and this was an intriguing battle. Heat number 1, Victor Hayden went up very short in the marketplace, and Bex Manelli, who has only been here for a couple of starts and continues to improve, was sort of out to her pet trip on Thursday night, and she was able to run down Victor Hayden. They got well clear from Run Like Jess and Criminal, but Bex Manelli, would she do it again against Victor Hayden? Can she get past him again?
Well, I mean, it was a small field, and a terrific call by you. I think you virtually almost labelled her in the run that she had the right run. She just tagged Victor Hayden everywhere he went. he had to work a little bit to get past Ron Light Jess, who's probably not racing in his best form at the moment, but he led them up. Victor Hayden took a little bit of time, but Bex Manelli just sat on Victor Hayden perfectly. I'm not sure if she's going to get the same run in the final on Thursday night, but 42.79, that's a terrific time. And again, a slight bit of improvement there. Could see her certainly go close to that track record with clear running. But, I mean, she was so impressive in the heat. I wouldn't discount Victor Hayden, though. He had to work hard, and he did forge his way to the front and just couldn't hold off Bex Manelli.
And the second heat was won by the kennel mate Lashes Manelli, who is continuing to race well. Ran slightly slower time, 43.09, defeating Webleg Star, who ran her races in patches. Contour and New Year Tears made up the minor end, but Lashes Manelli, look, she's getting back. I don't think she's back to where she was in November last year, but she's certainly getting close to where she was. Yeah,
I agree. I mean, a terrific training performance by Tim Aloisi to win both heats. Lashes Manelli, she has been finding just a little bit of trouble in the run, just clear passage. She got the right run on Thursday night and put them to bed, really, as they turned for home. Won by over 5 lengths. Webleg Star, I thought early, Tim, in the race when Webleg Star ran towards the front, just leaving the front straight, I thought, here we go, the race is on here. But, just sort of, I don't know, just...
She hit a flat spot.
A flat spot, into the back straight, and Aston Alpha went straight past her. She kept fighting, though, and I think that's what we have found with Webleg Star. She's a fighter, and she, in her performance, and that she's won 2 feature races over the last few months. So I'm sure Neville Leck will have her pretty well right for the final. And she kept coming on the line, but as you mentioned, the time wasn't as quick as the other heats. So they'll need a little bit of improvement, I think.
Yeah, and Don't Tell Bluey was able to win last Thursday night, so he continues to win. He ran 30 and 35. He's a really impressive dog. It's a big question at the moment. Who's the best dog in South Australia? He's right up there. Mally Magic's probably right with him, and then you got Victor Grosso and Jack Swell, who are just professionals. But I think the Harris Kennel have got a good one here. Yeah,
most definitely. I mean, he had to do it the hard way on Thursday night. So another string to his bow, if you like. Don't Tell Bluey. But he's got picket fence form. He's running the time. He's defeating all comers at the moment. Bear in mind, a few of the other stronger performers are either over a middle distance or just not running at the moment. But you can only beat who you come up against, and they won again, and they're in on Thursday night, and they'll probably go close to winning again.
Yeah, he continues to race well, so good for the Harris Kennel there. We had the semi-finals on Sunday night at the Gawler Produce. He's All-Purpose was a terrific win, able to outstay Springvale Max, and Spring Phoebe and Air Pumba filled the minors. This was a really competitive race because at the top of the home straight, any one of the 4 could have won. But he's All-Purpose. As we know, he's so good early, and he's getting stronger and stronger as he gets older. So he's just a tough nut to crack, isn't he?
He is. I mean, he leads them out. He's there to be beaten. And on Sunday night, he fought them all off, and he won in impressive fashion, 30.73. You know, that's a good time, and they all had their chance to beat him. Him and Springvale Max, I can see a lot of battles over the coming 6 months, really. These 2 dogs, they're wonderful dogs, racing extremely well. Spring Phoebe, as you mentioned, Air Pumba, I thought down the back straight, he was going to be a big chance. Just needed clear running. Didn't get it. But he's a dog. If he's anywhere near the mid-race, he can produce a big performance. But take nothing away from Tim Richard, and he's All-Purpose. Did a wonderful job to win semi-final number 1.
Yeah, semi-final 2 at there, ran 30 and 83, which was slightly slower than semi-final 1. Spring Ammo was able to lead throughout there. Springvale Rex ran 2nd. My Mum's Value ran 3rd, and then She's Fired Up ran 4th. So I think Spring Ammo, he held them comfortably. Springvale Rex did close off late, but that's what he does. And My Mum's Value probably had to lead to win.
Yeah, most definitely. I think for Greg Borden, Spring Ammo, box 4 was able to push forward and lead. From there was always going to be hard to run past. Springvale Rex, I thought, was a good run and had lights on him. Again, he'll be a terrific middle distance to staying dog for Gavin Harris when he steps up. But he was a little bit unlucky. He copped a little bit of a check down the back straight, stopped a bit of momentum, and then he flashed home to be beaten just under a length. But he's going to need luck in the final. My Mum's Value, we'll speak to Robert Barclay. he's doing a wonderful job, this dog. This will be the second feature final he's made. He just keeps finding one slightly better than him. But he's an honest performer, and he'll run a bold sight in the final. And she's fired up. Again, Tim Richards, that was his second qualifier. So the Gawler Produce always produces a wonderful final, and Sunday night, no doubt, it'll be a wonderful race.
Yeah, certainly will be. That's been the Week in Review, thanks to Fresh Pet Food Co., proud suppliers for the GAP SA Greyhounds and the GAP Prison programs here in South Australia. Visit their website, freshpetfoodco.com.au. Brought to us by the SA Greyhound Tips Twitter feed. Of course, free tips for all SA Metro meetings. Just get on Twitter and type in search at the Dogs SA and get on board. Of course, gamble responsibly. There's always a tip or two on the Twitter site. Big night Thursday night first, Shaun. Then we'll touch on that final on Sunday night. But Thursday night, we've got a 12-race program. And, of course, as you mentioned, Don't Tell Bluey is going around again. Yep. He's in race number 9 and... look, he looks hard to beat again. He's going to go up a short price favourite. The feature race, though, is race number 6, and that, of course, is the Bayroad Queen Stayers Cup over the 730 metres, and this is the box draw, if you haven't already caught up with the news. New Year Tears is in box 1. Number 2 is Criminal. 3 is Run Like Jess. 4 is Bex Manelli. 5 is Weblex Star. 6 is Victor Hayden. 7 is Contour. And number 8 is Lashes Manelli. And now Dashing Wilma and Gold Blaze are the reserves, so... The box draw, Shaun, it's made it interesting. Which way are you sort of pushing towards at this stage?
Well, it has made it interesting. I mean, box draws matter in feature finals. Maybe not so much over 7:30, but it does matter in this race, I think. I am actually leaning towards Victor Hayden for the Rasmussen team. They've had a wonderful run with feature race victories of late, and I think Victor Hayden can claim that feature race win over the 700. I think he has good enough speed to land second. I think Run Like Jess will lead. I think he's got the speed.
He probably has to lead to win, though, I think, Victor Hayden.
I agree. I don't think he'll take as long as what he took to get past Run Like Jess as what he did last Thursday night. I think I could easily see him accelerating at the winning post and taking the lead a bit earlier, so he won't need to work as hard. And then from there, I think he can put a few dogs between him and the likes of Lashes Manelli and Bex Manelli. I'm obviously concerned about their big finish. But I just think Victor Hayden might be able to just pinch a break. His times he's been running when out in front, he can go 42.7, and that's going to be really hard to chase down if he can get his own way. But I do agree with you. He needs a good beginning. He needs to get to the front a lot sooner. But that's what I'm thinking will happen. As I said, I'm worried about Bex Manelli, a bit more improvement. She's going to have a big run home, and Lashes Manelli. And I'd be putting Weblex Star in, again, for Neville Leckel. She's a wonderful performer. How did you read the race?
Yeah, look, I think Victor Hayden, personally, he's a dog that he probably can't run down the likes of Lashes Manelli or Bex Manelli if they got ahead of him, which they probably won't be early. So Victor Hayden, Weblex Star push on, Run Like Jess shows speed. The three of them, I think, go forward looking for the lead. I think Lashes Manelli probably gets around them to about 4th or 5th early. If she's in that spot and she's sort of a length or maybe 2 lengths ahead of Bex Manelli, I think that'll be good enough for her to get over the top, Lashes Manelli. I'm tipping her to win. I think she's just gradually coming back to where she was last year. If she stays out of trouble, I think she'll run down Victor Hayden, and I think Bex Manelli will obviously flood home into 3rd. So I've gone 8, 6 and 4, but I think for Victor Hayden to win, he's going to need to sort of ping, get away, and hope that the Manelli dogs find a bit of bother, and then he probably hangs on and wins. But look, he's such a professional, Victor Hayden. He's got to be a top 3 chance. And I think, who do you think will start favourite, Shaun? Victor Hayden?
No, I don't think Victor Hayden will start favourite. I actually think, I mean, you could not be... I think Bex Manelli will start favourite. I think Bex Manelli and Lashes Manelli will probably be the favoured pair. I think just on natural improvement with Bex Manelli and the time that she was able to run, she's not going to get an awful run here. You can see she's going to position up pretty well. I just think, as I said, if Victor Hayden led, it might be a bit too hard. But I do think the Tim Aloisi dogs will start favourite, both of them. Maybe Bex Manelli slightly. I don't think Victor Hayden will be favourite and Weblex Star, no. But, I mean, I don't think nothing will be short. No. It's a pretty wide open race for the top chances, I would have thought. I mean, you leave New Year Tears as the track record holder. If he recaptures any of his best form, he's a big chance. And I wouldn't discount Webleck Star. More improvement from her. She could run a big race, but I mean, it's going to be a great addition to the Bayroad Queen, who was a superstar stay in her own right in the 80s.
Yep, should be a wonderful race there. Race 6 on Thursday night. Now, before we move on to Sunday, what did you make the best there at Angle Park on Thursday, Sean?
Well, anyone who's been listening to the Dogcast knows I haven't been having a great run, whereas yourself, Tim, and Brenton have been having a good run of late. So I've looked at, but I'm still going to keep going. Race 4, number 1, Razzle Dazzle. Razzle Darrell for Aussie Chegia. Has been racing in open company, been coming up against Don't Tell Bluey. Been running really good races, mind you. The last start, he came from box 1. He won in 30.77 when he was able to lead, when he was able to run down the leader in a strong performance, but he has gone 30.57. I think he's drawn perfectly. Probably a slightly drop in class this race, and I think he's just drawn to either lead and win or just sit on speed and win. So he'll get rooms. Infinite Nikki won't cross down. She'll give him some room. I think he'll be really hard to beat.
All right, well, we're going to clash because I'm on I'm on Scorching Sun big time on Thursday night. He let me down last week. I thought he was immoral last Thursday, and he just looked a bit flat. That was his third run back from a spell. His first 2 runs back this prep have been outstanding. His first up run was excellent. His second up run, he went to a next level. And then last start, he just looked flat for some reason. So I'm predicting that we're going to see Scorching Sun come back and bounce back hard Thursday night. So we're dueling. So I'll be on the text message to you, Sean, of who can get the right result there. But I do think Razzle Darrell's certainly a most improved dog. But I sort of think Sutton Sandy can push hard early and sort of get over. And I think Scorching Sun might lob outside Sutton Sandy. And if that does happen, I think Scorching Sun will win. He's a strong dog, and I like him. So we'll see what unfolds there on Thursday. As we said, it's a good program. We got Don't Tell Bluey there as well running, and he's probably the other draw card that we wanted to see on the program. Race 1 there due to go South Australian time at 6:37. As far as Sunday night, the Gawler Produce, we've got Spring Phoebe, who's come up with box number 1. 2 is She's Fired Up. 3 is Air Pumbaa. 4 is Springvale Rex. 5 is Springvale Max. 6 is He's All Purpose. 7 is My Mum's Value. And number 8 is Spring Ammo. So that's the lineup.
Yep. He's
All Purpose. He's just a moral to lead, surely, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously the full fields are not out yet. This final was drawn on Sunday night. But from box 6, I think he leads. I agree. I don't think My Mum's Value's drawn outside him. So if he'd drawn inside He's All Purpose, maybe it might be a bit harder. But he just leads He's All Purpose, and then everything has a sitting shot to run him down. I don't think Spring Ammo, who led in semi-final number 2, can get across.
No.
He's All Purpose. So I think He's All Purpose leads, and then to be fair, I mean, Spring Phoebe has speed from the inside, but I think He's All Purpose has shown over
He's brilliant
numerous starts that he just leads this race. And then it's a matter of probably who can sit on him and who's strong enough to run past him.
Yeah.
And that's probably the, $100 question. And I just don't know if any of the main chances are going to get the right run. I just think He's All Purpose for Tim Richards. Fingers crossed for him. I think he could take out a feature race here on Sunday night. I mean, he's going to be really hard to beat. He's going to probably be favourite, Tim.
Yeah, has to be favourite.
Yep. I think he can lead. He will lead, and then I just don't think the other dogs will get the right run to run him down. So I'm leaning towards 6 He's All Purpose, but if Springvale Max sat on his back, if Air Pumbaa sat on his back, if Spring Ammo got across and sat behind him, if My Mum's Value got a nice run, I mean, she's a good player, as we talked to Rob Barclay.
Yeah,
but
he needs to lead My Mum's Value to probably win the race. And I think He's All Purpose, if he was to whiz down and sort of make some interference, My Mum's Value, probably that's his best chance of winning.
I think so.
I think Springvale Rex and Springvale Max are probably the only 2 dogs that could sit on He's All Purpose and maybe run him down. Yeah. But that's maybe because we don't know where they're going to sit in the run. So He's All Purpose we expect to lead. Now, if He's All Purpose didn't lead, well, then the race is wide open. Then anything can win.
I agree, yeah. I think that's the key to the first corner. And at Gawler, we know it's a shortish run to the first corner. And if he misses it a little bit, but, I mean, these dogs, we spoke to Tim Richards on the show before, they're almost foolproof out of the boxes, not to put the mods on He's All Purpose, but he just comes out electric. So, I mean, I just can't see him not leading. I mean, Springvale Max, we've spoken on the show, and when he won the Howard Ashton, he began not as well as what we had anticipated. He actually began not as good, but he got the right run. I mean, he can come out of the boxes, Springvale Max. So, I mean, if he pushed across, and it could be a battle of these two again, as we saw in the Howard Ashton, and that what a wonderful race that was. But yeah, fingers crossed for Tim Richardson. He's all purpose. I'm leaning that way. Are you heading that way as well?
Yeah, I'm with he's all purpose. I just think he'll lead, and I'm not sure if they can run him down. So I'd sort of be going he's all purpose, ahead of Springvale Max, Springvale Rex, because they're just so consistent and they run on. So that's the way I'd probably be seeing it. But it'll be a great race, and it'll be a good night. Hopefully you don't get any rain out there at Gawler on Sunday, and the track can stay in good condition, and we can have a big night there on Sunday. Yeah,
the Gawler Produce, it's their second biggest night of the year behind their Gawler Gold Cup. They get a good crowd out there. Dining upstairs, terrific. So I'd encourage anyone to get out there.
You'll be heading out there, Sean?
I'll be there.
I'll
be looking forward to being out there. I was there on Sunday night. It was a nice crowd, and I'll be there again this Sunday night. So it'll be a wonderful edition of the Gawler Produce. Encourage everyone to get out there. It's always a great race, and these dogs are definitely dogs of the future, aren't they, Tim? You're going to see them for the next 6 to 12 months, have great success for the connections, I feel.
It should be a great night, Sunday night at Gawler. If you're not doing anything, get out to Gawler and support the club. That's been the preview. That's, of course, brought to us by the SA Greyhound Tips Twitter feed. And jump on Twitter, type in @TheDogsSA. You'll get all your tips. And as always, gamble responsibly.
The interview.
Okay, the interview this week is, of course, focusing on the big night on Sunday night, the Gawler Produce Final, and Robert Barclay. We haven't had Rob on the show before, Sean, but Rob's been kind enough to give us some of his time. How are you, Rob, and welcome to the Dogcast.
Oh, good, thanks, and thanks for talking to me. That's lovely.
All right, Rob, let's touch on your career before we touch on My Mum's Value. Now, I see that you did some training interstate many, many years ago. You had a long time out of the game, and you sort of came back into the industry here in South Australia. What is it, back in 2018 you got back into it?
That's correct.
Now,
as a trainer, yes.
Yeah, as a trainer. So tell us about what you did interstate. Obviously, did you do some racing administration and some training interstate as well?
Yes, I lived in Newcastle, and I had a few dogs that I used to race there, and I was heavily involved with the Holmeses, who had blacktop.
Yep.
And that was 60 years ago, actually.
Wow.
But then from then, I basically never really got out of the industry as such, but I didn't train dogs. I always owned dogs, right up until 19, yeah.
So why the gap there from training, Rob? What were you pursuing in that time?
Well, for a start, I used to live in the Riverland, and so it was a bit awkward. And it was before the Barmera track opened. Matter of fact, I had a little bit to do with the straight track that we had at Loxton, that even Ron Shadow used to race his dogs on. And but it was just too far, and I had a young family,
Yeah. And now these days, you're back training greyhounds. You've been doing that for about 4 years now in SA. Now, you're based down south at Ranella, is that right?
That's correct.
All right. So it takes you a bit of a distance, I guess, to get to places like Gawler.
Well, it does, but I mean, the whole thing is if you want to get involved in an industry, you've just got to do that, and it doesn't worry me. I travel up to Alice Springs and that sort of thing quite regularly, so I travel quite a bit.
All right. How many dogs in the kennel at the moment? There looks to be only about 3 or 4. Is that right?
I've only got a licence to have 3. That's racing dogs. We've got a brood bitch, the mother of the dam of My Mum's Value, and we've got another retired dog which didn't quite make it through GAP, but he's such a good dog, tag and released, that he's out the back, and he's just an absolute beautiful dog.
Yeah. And tell us about My Mum's Value. He's had 28 starts now for 8 wins and 13 minors. So he is a dog that's very consistent. He only has missed a place twice in his last 14 starts.
That's correct. Yeah, no, he's a pretty smart dog as well as being a good dog too. He he seems to be able to handle a field, he's been, even in these last few series, I feel as though he's been unlucky, because he sort of hasn't drawn a box, if you understand what I mean.
Yep.
There's other dogs that have beat him that are going to be favourites, but had he been on the inside of them, it would have been a different story.
Now, he's had his last 2 starts at Gawler, obviously in readiness for the Gawler Produce, but prior to that, he hadn't been back to Gawler since January. He's been racing predominantly at Angle Park. Was there a reason he hasn't been at Gawler for such a long time?
Yeah, well, you see, remember the St. Ledger was on, and also the other big race. What was that? And I basically had to get him. I had him going quite well over the 500, and then he basically almost sprained a toe. So we had to back off on him for a month, which cost me quite a bit of time because I had to get him back up again. So I worked on him from box to box, and then races at Angle Park, getting him ready, because I knew that the produce stakes was coming up, so we sort of put that aside until such time as we were ready to go over there. And as you say, he's only had 2 starts at Gawler. He's had 3 starts altogether. He's won 1 and run second and third.
And on debut, of course, he won at Gawler over the 400, going back a while ago now.
Oh yeah, well he did. He had 5 starts, 3 wins, and a couple of seconds there, and he ran some pretty smart times there. A lot of people admire the dog, and he's just an absolute dream to watch as regards his galloping action. It's so smooth. Yep.
He's had box 7 now 5 times for no wins. That's a little bit of a concern, I guess.
He's had box 8 twice and won 2 too.
All right. Well, that's a good way of looking at it, isn't it, Rob?
That is.
Yeah. Yes. And it's going to be a very, very interesting race, actually, because you've got a lot of speed on the inside of him.
Yep.
And like all-purpose, he's all-purpose. And if it jumps out and goes over to the rail, wants to get on the rail, there's going to be a lot of dogs that's going to be arms and legs all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's what Shaun and I were saying a short time ago, Rob. We feel that if he's all-purpose can ping, he might just bring your fellow over with him.
Yes.
Do you think your dog has to lead to win this race? Or can he come from behind?
I would say yes. I would say he has to be. He has to lead. Yeah, like not necessarily all the way through, but you'll find when he gets around the first turn there by the 300 boxes there, he's got a turn of speed that'll. If you have a look at when he beat Springvale Maddie, he just shot past her like as though she was standing still there from her.
Yeah.
And got to the front. He's got some nice speed.
Yep.
And the reason why he hasn't stayed the races is simply because he hasn't quite been fit. He's fitter for every run.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you sound pretty confident, Rob.
Well, if everything goes right, he's going to be a big danger to them, Basically, I feel as though he should have almost won the race last Sunday, and then prior to that, when he struck all-purpose, he was just looking for that bit of extra ground because he hadn't had the preparation.
Yeah. Well, I'm changing my tips as we're speaking right now after your discussion, Rob. So you've got a bit more confidence in me of this fellow now that he's fitter. And like I said, if he sits outside of He's All-Purpose, when it could be race right on. But this would be a big thrill for you to win a Gawler Produce, no doubt.
Oh, of course it would. It's a big thrill to win any race and, to be involved. And my motto is, like a lot of good trainers is, I don't care if they win or lose, as long as they pull up and the catch and pen okay.
Yeah.
A win or a place is just a bonus,
Yeah. Yeah, well, you've got a great chance. It looks a really even race on paper, and your fellow, he's got a great chance.
Yeah, there's some really good dogs in it. I mean, there's 5 good dogs in there. He'd probably come in about 6, but there's probably a length between them all, I'd say.
Yep. And have you got any help down there at Ranella? Who helps you around the place with the greyhounds?
My wife, she's got a handler's license, and my daughter comes and cleans up the yard and that sort of thing, and I have a cleaner that comes in and does the kennels because just at the moment I'm in bed because I've got a bursa in the hip.
Oh, that's no good.
No, it isn't. I haven't been able to get to the dog,
Right.
but I'm coming good, and my wife, she trains under instructions. Not trained under instruction. She does the dogs under instruction.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We knew where you were going. What about the name My Mum's Value? Rob, where'd that come from?
Well, his dam is Gonna Do Value.
Right.
Gonna Do Value has a long line of very, very positive group racing bitches. And I just wanted to stick with that value, like all my other dogs. The out of the litter, there was 12 in the litter. 3 of them passed away, and Lizzie Harley, she's got 4 of them, and I've got 5 of them.
Okay.
Mike Widolt trains 2 for me, which is the universal value and then I've got Boogie Value, and I've got No Real Value. Now, Boogie Value, unfortunately, had a bad accident with her metatarsal, and she's just coming back.
Gee, I'll tell you what, Universal Value is close to winning again, Rob. On the performance last night, he's going to win another race very soon.
Yeah, yes. Well, so too is the bitch. What's her name? I keep getting them mixed up now. But she's a good little bitch too. We've had a bit of trouble with her front foot, but Mike's pulled her through, and she's going to be okay.
All right. Well,
Win a few races.
Yeah, exactly. Look, best of luck on Sunday night, Rob. We really hope it goes well for you and My Mum's Value, and hopefully we're calling you home a winner on Sunday night.
Well, that'd be nice. It'd be lovely. I mean, there's some very, very, very good, astute trainers in that race.
There is.
And you've got to not only beat the dog, but you've got to beat the trainer as well.
All right. Well, you've got some confidence. I like it, Rob. Best of luck.
Okay. Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Rob.
Good luck, Rob.
Rob Barclay there, our guest on the Dogcast, Shaun, and he's given the Greyhound a big chance there, of course, from box number 7 on Sunday night. Of course, he hasn't won from the 7, but as Rob clearly pointed out,
Yes.
he has won from the pink, so it's not that far out, is it?
And history does show, Tim, when people do come onto the Dogcast,
They win.
they win.
Yep.
So his confidence is no doubt warranted by him being on the show.
Yeah, exactly. And he sounds like he's doing a great job. He's been in the industry for a long, long time. So he's a big supporter, and that's what we love here in South Australia. Look, Shaun, that's been another edition of the Dogcast. We look forward to the next show, which is coming up in a couple of weeks from now.
Yeah, I think maybe champion puppy time.
Yeah.
So looking forward to it. But yeah, really looking forward to the Bayroad Queen Thursday night, and obviously the big night at Gawler on Sunday with the Produce Final.
Looks to be a big week. Thanks, Shaun.